Ladies and gentlemen, not the best of the Eric Zane Show podcast happening now. People are like, EZ, why do you call it not the best of? And it's like, well, that's an accurate description. It's okay. It's all right. It'll get you through until I return from whatever it is. You know, not every segment can be Kenny Z-Speed Mobile Mechanic or, Ask Kenny or Kenny and Amanda in a fight or me trying to get them to pork. They all can't. You notice how those things involve Kenny and Amanda. Say what you will. But they drive it when it comes to stupidity, which makes me happy because I laugh at that. And we all have fun. Now, I'm not saying they're stupid. No, I kind of was there saying they're stupid. But they're not stupid. I meant stupid scenarios. Maybe a little stupid. Okay? I'll tell you what. Slightly, just a bit stupid. Is that acceptable? Probably not. I'm going to get a text message any minute now from these two titans about that crack. But anyway, it's time for Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. First of all, if you ever want to reach out to me, drop me a line on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. They stripe parking lots. They stripe athletic fields. If you need ground painted, they'll do it. ShorelinersStriping.com. Let's commence with Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Patreon early. Everything's screwed up. People are like, what's going on? Oh, my God. Yeah, yeah. Baby, 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 baby.
Hey, it's Blind Tony. And you know what? If I'm not reading Braille or teaching in the office or walking into the ladies' restroom by accident, I'm usually listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast. Here's your host, Eric Zane.
What's going on? This is the type of thing doing the Patreon before I do the free podcast. That is, this is like a change up. It's getting you out of your comfort zone. You ever see those? There's a person at the YMCA who puts these things on the these little sayings on the dry erase board that are supposed to keep you motivated. And they actually do. I've taken a picture of several of them and posted them over the years. But one says something about getting out of your comfort zone. And so today is the day that I'm out of my comfort zone. I'm doing things differently. I'm changing it up. I have to get this done, the Patreon bonus podcast, before I do the free podcast today. And the early show is happening because today is a day where I'm doing limo work. And I have to be picking up my passengers at noon. So, if I have to get the podcast done, the free podcast done, and then get it all prepared and do the things necessary to get it up and running so that's listenable and posted appropriately, and then expect myself to do the Patreon bonus, there's just no way. Okay? So that's why we are doing it this way. And what's crazy about human beings, well, at least for me, and I'm a little bit nutty. Bear with me. I have to finish this coffee, and you know what that means. I'm going to turn down the mic, take some big slugs off this thing, and hopefully finish it up. Stand by, drink it if you got it. I can't finish it, so I'll have to speak a little more and then come back to it. The idea of, waking up a handful of minutes earlier, writing down the things that I'm going to talk about, and then doing them in reverse order like this. It's enough to just rocked my world. I'm sitting there like, oh my God, well, this is going to be so different. How could I possibly do this? And then the other side of my brain says, you idiot. Just get in there. It's really no different. You just sit there and you just prepare it all ahead of time like you can do, and then turn on the mic and get after it. Okay? What is the problem? But yet there I was, naked to the world, stressing about this. Kyler, do you have any other joke other than that's it? I honestly, I wish I could help you write some new material. You need some new jokes. You make boring Dean look like he's got fresh comedy. And that's not easy to do. You might be the worst joke writer ever. Look at that. He gave me in response to me saying he has horrible jokes. He wrote, "Your nose is big." I mean, is that your go-to? 4 one-syllable words as a joke? Your nose is big. Is that even a joke? And then he goes with, do you ever change your outfit? Well, that's not really a joke. Oh, my God. Patriot Nick says, have Ben write some for him. That would be too much of an upgrade. And Ben can't write jokes. He's the worst at it. Let's go. These are Tyler's jokes. That's it. Let's go. Your nose is big. And that's it. And let's go are not jokes. They're just callbacks. Ugh. Horrible. All right. Drink it up. Drink it up. The Duchess writes, hey, I like the let's go. Well, you've just earned 300 seconds. There you go. 300 seconds for the... Oh, Eric, how could you possibly do that to me? How could you possibly do that to me? I can't lie. Dean set you up for that, Kate. Someone's been plotting against you, Kate. Chris says, gosh, you're touchy. No, seriously, there was something in the works to get Kate banned for 300 seconds. Otherwise, I feel good. I feel good. Tyler writes, oh, Eric, how could you give me 300 seconds? How could you possibly do that? Okay. You must try this. We are moving on. Last night's Mediterranean menu. It featured 20-minute stuffed chicken breasts. This is not a 20-minute recipe. Any of these recipes, this website that I take them from, that always says like 15 minutes so-and-so, 20 minutes. Never. It takes hours. Hours. The only way this could be, the only 20 minutes in 20-minute stuffed chicken breasts is the cook time. And they even undersell the cook time because chicken breasts today are huge. They load chickens up with so many chemicals to make them huge. Steroids, stuff like that. It takes like an hour to cook a chicken breast. Anybody tells you, oh, yeah, it takes 5 minutes one side, 4 minutes the other side. Never. Never, ever, ever. Okay. So what you do is you make the stuffing, what goes inside of the chicken breast. The filling. By the way, what makes this dish spectacular? Walnuts. What? Yes, walnuts. Okay. In the big bowl, quarter or a half cup. Wait a minute. Yeah, a half cup. And I was told by Laura that it's ricotta. I have to say ricotta because she's Italian. Ricotta cheese. quarter cup mozzarella, quarter cup grated Parmesan. And we're talking about good mozzarella and mozzarella and Parmesan, not like the stupid off-brand stuff you get at Stop and Shop or some shit. I'll link this recipe up. It's amazing. 3/4 cup of walnuts, finely chopped. 5 ounces frozen spinach, thawed and drained. You got to squeeze all the water out like you're wringing out a sponge. 6 sun-dried tomatoes in olive oil, chopped. 1/4 cup fresh parsley, chopped. 2 cloves of garlic, minced. Teaspoon of oregano. Throw all that into the bowl. Mix it up. Okay. Then, on those chicken breasts, okay, it's laying there flat. You slice it on the side, and then you open it up, and it looks like, it looks like a lady's privates. And then you have a nice pocket there, and you just stuff that stuff in there. I mean, it is full of this mixture. And then you put the olive oil, decent olive oil. Don't buy, again, Stop and Shop. You're like, Stop and Shop, what is that's a New Jersey chain. That's a Northeast chain. You know, you put a good quality of olive oil into the cast iron pan. Don't make it too hot. You want the oil just to slightly shimmer. Okay, just if it smokes, you're too hot. Don't do it, man. You're gonna ruin everything. Lay those breasts in there. I would go with 2 cast iron pans because you're making 4 breasts and you want to have plenty of room. All right. Cook them up, man. You might have to put a lid on top to get this cooked in an appropriate amount of time. And be careful. If you overcook them, the chicken becomes rubber, and that's shit. Okay. You get them out, and then you slice. Do a little slicey, about 1 inch wide. Decent knife, okay? Slice through. Present it, like staggered on a nice serving plate. And then you serve this with a spectacular Greek salad. And I've got a recipe for that too. Pretty basic, actually. This traditional Greek salad. Red onion, cut it in half, slice it thin. Now, when I'm doing this, red onions are devastating to the eyes. So it's quite literally one slicey had to walk away. Okay? The red onions are too powerful. They overpower the salad. What you do is you put ice cubes in a bowl, fill it up with water, put the sliced red onions in there with a couple tablespoons of vinegar. Takes the edge off of them. Okay? They're still oniony, but not too much because otherwise you're going to bite into the Greek salad and you're going to be like, what the fuck? I'm just eating onions. I'll add this. Get one of those, what do you call it? Hothouse cucumbers. Slice, peel it every, it's like a stripe, around the cucumber. It's all for aesthetics. You cut the cucumber lengthwise and then 1 inch slices. Throw that in the bowl. 4 or 5 quality tomatoes. I prefer Roma. Wedge them. Some wedged, some sliced. Okay, so they're rounds. Throw that in the bowl. Green bell pepper, cored, sliced thin. Throw that in the bowl. Greek pitted Kalamata olives. I think I said that right. However, I screwed up because the olives that I bought had the pits inside. Problem. So I wanted this to be perfect for the Queen of the Forest. So I had to cut about 25 olives and physically remove. I had to pit the olives. Not easy. Pain in the ass. Make sure you buy pitted ones. Let's see here. Onion, tomatoes, cucumber, green bell pepper. No leaves. No spinach or anything like that. Don't be an idiot. No romaine. This is a Greek salad, dummy. All right. You get all that in there. Season very lightly with kosher salt. Don't use that sea salt. Use kosher salt. Dried oregano. A bit of dried oregano. Throw it in there. You got 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar in a bowl. You kind of mix them up as best as you can. They don't like each other. They kind of separate. Pour it on top of the salad. Excuse me. Give it a good toss. What I like, no, I shouldn't say good toss. Give it a light toss. It's in the bowl. You put another bowl on top. Shake it once. That's it. Don't overdo it. Greek salad does not like everything coated with your oil red wine vinegar, okay? In fact, I suggest while you're getting all this prepared, you put it in the bowl, put the other bowl on top of it, and let the aromatics from all that you've cut up there, especially those red onions, kind of like circulate through there. It does something magical to it. I don't know what, but it's absolutely spectacular. Feta cheese blocks. Don't do the crumbles like an asshole, okay? This isn't a fucking carnival. You got to take the block and cut it. 1/4 inch. Lay the blocks on top of the salad. Sprinkle more oregano on top of the blocks. Serve it with crusty bread, okay? Along with the recipe that I talked. You have an unbelievable dinner. Does this take 20 minutes? No. It's like 2.5 hours. Who's the idiot here that says 20 minutes? All right. That was a lot. But I'm going to link it all up. You must try this. The only thing that, okay, there's very few tricks of the trade here. You just got to really read in order to make quality restaurant meals. You just got to read and take your time. But the one thing that can mess everything up is getting back to that too hot on the oil. When in doubt, drop the heat. You can always inch it back up. Second that heat, and then, okay, you take the breasts and you put them in there, and the oil's so hot, it like blows up on you. All right. Off to the gym yesterday after we ate. Truth be told, we only had a little bit of the meal because we both really weren't that hungry. You ever do that? You make a meal, and then you're like, I'm just not hungry. But something felt off. I wasn't feeling great. And I actually went out to the truck to leave. And then I turned around and walked back in. I said, I'm not going. I don't feel good. My stomach is bothering me. I've already spent considerable time in a seated position. And I think I'm still having some type of digestive issue. Clean the kitchen. Deep scrub on the stove. You got to do that because the oil goes spattering everywhere. Wipe down the microwave, which no doubt right now has fingerprints, oily fingerprints all over it from you-know-who. I go, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to get to the gym. I got to do back and biceps. Which, by the way, there is a contraption at the gym that, if you want to do like pull-ups, you're like hanging there, you pull up, you put like your feet rest on this bar, and the weight stack gives you an assist so you can do a pull-up, okay? And you might put the assist on 40 pounds. So if you weigh like 170 pounds like I do, it's like you're doing a 130-pound pull-up if you have 40 pounds of assistance. There was a time when I used to weigh 150. When I could do 3 sets of 20 pull-ups with no assist. I mean, remarkable. Right now, I have to take that weight stack and put it on 91 pounds. I don't know why it's an odd number like that. But in order for me to do a set of 15 set of 12, and a set of 10, barely, I need 91 pounds of assistance, which means it's like I'm pulling 120 pounds, right? No. It's like 170 minus 90. It's like I'm pulling 80 pounds, right? How did I fuck that up? Because I'm me, right? I just do 170 minus 91. Okay, yeah. It's like I'm doing a pull-up if I'm 79 pounds. That's how much assistance I need. That's how weak I am. Oh my God. So anyway, I'm off to the gym. And I'm halfway there. And then I'm like, oh no. It's happening. Now, this is a 7-mile trip to the YMCA. 7 miles. And I'm like, oh boy. Okay. You got 3 miles to go. And I'm contemplating. I'm like looking around. Okay, Fazoli's has a bathroom. I could shit in the bushes at the bank. There's Meyer. Yeah, but I could pull up, park it right in the fire lane and just run in. But that much movement, I don't know. I might shit my pants. Somehow made it to the YMCA. I'm fumbling with this stupid app to get in, with your little thing you hold up to the checker. And I'm like rushing. The people at the desk are like, what's his deal? Boy, he's really eager to get to his workout, And oh my God, the next thing I know, I'm I've assumed the position. I'm texting Diana, and I said I basically just drove here to take a freaking dump. Almost shit my pants. Horrible. Having some real digestive issues lately, but that was some real trouble. Okay, so then it's like, okay, let's finish the job, wash our hands, pretend like nothing happened, and then I see the Meathead Brothers. Okay, Team Knuckle Dragger is just finishing up their workout. Now, I must give these gentlemen credit. This would be Andrew and Brian. These guys are so freaking ripped. They what did they do the other day? They were doing a ab workout. Now here I am. I'm doing like knee ups and maybe a crunch or two. They have the big barbell with a big plate on either side, a 45-pound plate. And the bar weighs 45 pounds. This is 135 pounds. They're on their back on the bench, and they're holding the weight up like they're about to start a bench press. Okay? But that's not at all what they're going to do. They then raise their legs up like a jackknife. This is an abdomen exercise while you're holding all of this weight. And I'm like, what am I seeing here? And they do this like hundreds of times. And then they also, they have like really light, well, not really light. They're like 10, well, I guess it's really light, 10, 15-pound dumbbells in their hands. Different exercise. And they're laying flat on their back. And while they're on their back, the dumbbells are like up while their hands are extended. And then same thing, except they fold their body up completely in half, like an alligator's mouth opening and closing, feet and hands towards the sky. And I'm like, how is this even possible? It looks like you're defying gravity. The amount of strength on these two is just, I think they're there for like 3 hours every day. And I talked the other day about how Andrew from the Meathead Brothers, he's the guy who, I start doing my little aerobic exercises or whatever stupid, meager, wimpy stuff that I do. And he's the guy who says, hey, yeah, why don't you make this adjustment? It's a little harder. It's better for you. He's that guy. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I talked about him the other day. And what I didn't count on was him hearing that. And he comes walking up to me yesterday with Brian. He goes, hey, if you were walking around and you saw somebody who had like their fly open or like a booger hanging out of their nose and you knew the guy, would you say so if that was happening, would you say something? And I'm like, where the hell is he going with this? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I would. And he goes, well, yeah, that's what the hell I'm doing to you when you're sitting there looking like an asshole doing the exercise wrong, dumbass. Like, oh shit, you heard that. It turns out that he also signed up. I saw a 1-year tier 2 membership for Patreon. Somebody spent a lot of money, spent $108 on your old pal Eric Zane yesterday. I was like, who is this? I don't recognize it. It was him, Andrew T. And I'm like, oh my God. Well, you've earned that. Thank you. I appreciate that. He's a new member on Patreon. After all of that, I had a realization as I was leaving the gym that on Wednesday night, last night, I'm driving back, that, I had taken a page out of the NFK's playbook, and I hadn't washed my asshole since Sunday. And I had been to the gym Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday. Unbelievable. How gross is that? So, full disclosure, for that period of time, I was no better than the NFK. That many days. Since then, I have washed, I have shaved, I feel good. Diana says you need to talk about that on the Patreon. Dirk says, I remember when you challenged a bunch of Marines to a pull-up contest in Nashville. Yeah, there was a time, and they were doing kipping pull-ups. I was doing dead hang pull-ups. Harder to do. All right. Okay, so the free podcast starts at the normal time in 8 minutes. So I'm going to shut this down, and I'm going to go and do the free podcast. Okay? Josh says, did you even sweat when you worked out? Just a little. That spot where my fat gut overhangs over my waistline, that area was a little moist. So I had to clean that. Okay. So that kind of works out as your warm-up for the free podcast, where I cannot wait to talk about the transgender community is attempting to cancel Dave Chappelle. Oh, boy. I think they have met their match, though. I think the transgender community, as they're trying to cancel Dave Chappelle, they're fucked. Dave Chappelle is uncancelable. And I will talk about that in part of what we do in the free podcast. So this is a first. Well, it isn't a first. It was a long time ago when I would do the Patreon first, I think. But I'm going to leave it right there. And if you're listening in order, you're going to listen to the free podcast next. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you then. Till then, just a handful of minutes. Bye-bye. Pause in the action. Timeout on the field. I have to talk to you about some amazing sponsors. Don't you dare hit the fast forward button. Don't be a dick. Listen to the ads. I know you've heard them a million times. You never know when something outrageous is going to happen. That's a lie. Nothing outrageous is going to happen here. I'm just going to read the sponsor. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage says call them when you need a mortgage. 231-332-6505. From anywhere in the U.S., they'll get you the mortgage. Fast, efficient, the best deal possible. They'll roll out the red carpet for you and any other flowery language I can think of to drive this ad. 231-332-6505. They've been doing this a long time, and they've been able to branch out to become the number one mortgage professionals in the United States, and that's a fact. 231-332-6505. See the difference. Include Mario and his crew when you're shopping for that next mortgage. I sound a little bit like I'm drunk. King's Room Barbershop is where I need you to get your hair cut. Dudes, if you've gone to Sport Clips and Jude's and Lady Jane's, just because, you like titties or something like that, screw that shit. Number one at cutting hair in West Michigan, King's Room Barbershop. 3 locations, Northland Drive, Caledonia, and the brand new location in Wyoming. About 5 minutes away from the old location when they were in Rogers Plaza. Now they're at 821 36th Street, Southwest. You can find them right there. And all the details are at kingsroom.net. Pricing, schedules, exact locations, all kingsroom.net. Thank you. Blue Frost IT is the managed IT service provider for the EZ podcast. You can find them at 616-200-8550 or at bluefrostit.com. Anything for your small or medium-sized business. If things go south, they can fix it. If you're upgrading, they can help you make that decision. They can also be your managed IT service provider. Tons of services for you at Blue Frost IT. All right. Continuing on, more of Not the Best of, the Eric Zane Show podcast. Oh, hey. So if I'm not starting late, starting early, I'm starting early, I'm starting late. I don't know what I'm doing. So I announced, hey, I'm going to start at 1:10. And then I was working on it, and then I hit the wrong button, and I started it early. So then I was like, oh, my God. But it's 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. So no big deal, right? I have not, you would think with this late of a start, that I'd have been screwing around or something like that, but I have not been screwing around. I've been busting my ass like I do every day. This is the Eric Zane Show Patreon bonus podcast. Get your COVID shot, yeah. Get your COVID shot, yeah. You gotta get a vaccine, gotta get a vaccine. Get your COVID vaccine. Gotta get a vaccine, gotta get your vaccine. Gotta. You're gonna get fired if you don't get your vaccine. Gonna get fired and you're gonna get your vaccine. Gonna get fired if you don't get your vaccine. Gonna get fired if you don't get your vaccine. Yeah! I just heard from, who was that? Reached out and said that their employer, big company that this person works for, Mike writes, I work for a big company, Cintas. We have our annual health insurance open enrollment. The insurance company is charging employees $10 a week for people that are not vaccinated. Yes, and they should. So $10 a week, that's $520, right? A year. Okay, don't get vaccinated. They don't have to pay for you, the higher premium. You're screwing it up for everybody else. All right. Thank you, Mike, for sharing. I have no idea how he feels, but I wrote, wow, well, they should. They should. It should be $100 a week. It should be $1,000 a week. We'll see how it works. Otherwise, you can't get insurance. All right. I didn't start this with the intention of pissing people off, but I'm sure several of you right now are. But that's okay. Patriot Nick says, extortion is fun, right? Well, it's not. That's not extortion. Okay? That is, if you're utilizing the insurance and you're choosing not to do something that would keep you from having to utilize the insurance and have them pay people out, you realize it's killing thousands of people every day, right? You realize there's an expense with that. So that is absolutely appropriate. And that story, that warmed my heart today when I told the story about all of these legal challenges from these patriots are just getting destroyed in court. Not even close. Just rub your face in it. We'll get them. We'll get them. Chris says smokers pay higher premiums. Obese people pay higher premiums. If the reckless cocks in the world like Patriot Nick don't want to get vaccinated, you're going to pay a higher premium. Stevie, perfect. If you want to dance, you got to pay the band. I love that. Yes. Kyler, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here and not giving me your stupid, worn out, tired jokes for a change. Boomer Bob, who you got to understand, we still got to lean on him. He's a dumb shit from Alabama. He writes $520 a year or poison. Hold on a second, you stupid shit. Let me ask you a question. Are you telling me, Boomer Bob, that the vaccine is not keeping people alive, is not protecting people, and not keeping people from being hospitalized? You're actually believing that. You believe that the vaccine is just a placebo. It doesn't do anything at all. Is that what you're suggesting? What a dope. My God. It's remarkable. I'm actually very, very glad that I have done enough on this show to have it so that people will actually give me a few of their hard-earned dollars to have me yell at them and try to talk some sense into these people. Bob, we're going to get you. I am going to convince you to shut the fuck up for once and put the medicine in your body. Okay? And I know that. He writes, I have natural immunity. He's probably one of the people who have COVID. Yeah, you can get reinfected, dumbass. You're correct. Natural immunity has a stronger resistance to upcoming strains of the virus than the vaccine. But if you'd done your research, you stupid twat, and took your natural immunity and the vaccine, now you're super bulletproof. Thank you, Megan. One of my brilliant lady listeners, viewers, Megan, getting her booster tonight. That's because you're spectacular. You realize that? I love you so much. Stevie says, I had to write, if you want to dance, you have to pay the band 100 times in high school when I skipped. Do kids have to write lines anymore? I heard a story that the average American hasn't written a handwritten note in like 5 years. Do they even teach writing anymore in school? I'm not so sure that they do. Kyler is trying that tired. Remember that Colin Powell was vaxxed and he died. Absolutely. He also had a horrible cancer. And what you don't know is that 7,500 Americans, 7,500 vaccinated Americans have died from COVID, Kyler. Now, I understand you're one of Guatemala's most stupid refugees. Most stupid refugees. I said stupid refugees. But everybody knows that people who are vaccinated do die. But it is a rarity and an absolute exception. And I think you know that, but you throw that out there assuming I don't, okay, and hoping that your little play there of misinformation and horse shit will get by the goalie. But I am a million times more smarter than you and more up to speed on all of these things, okay? So there you go. I can go all day, all right? Thank you, Chris. Yeah, 84 years old, cancer and Parkinson's. Kyler, you stupid, dumb bastard. All right. Okay, some more on this Alec Baldwin. God, I thought I sent it to myself. Where is it? Thank you to Dirk. He sent this along. He is good for something once in a while. Alec Baldwin facing backlash. Now, if you're going to start the headline with Alec Baldwin facing backlash, I would expect the following sentences to say, for making a careless, awful tweet about the person that he accidentally killed or something like that. I didn't expect it to say Alec Baldwin facing backlash for 2017 tweet questioning how it must feel to wrongfully kill someone. I'm confused. All right. Twitter users are zeroing in on this tweet, September of 2017, where he wrote that. I wonder how it feels to wrongfully kill someone. The tweet included a link to a LA Times article about a Huntington Beach, California cop who was captured on video struggling with the suspect in a parking lot of a convenience store before shooting the man several times, killing him. Okay. So is the leap people are making that since he tweeted about a cop involved in an altercation where he ended up killing someone, and Alec believed it to be a wrongful death, in his opinion. Perhaps he felt that way in 2017 when the cop was involved in the altercation. I mean, you barely need to look anywhere to see people talking about any type of incident with a cop. It's very easy to find those saying, well, the cop, I mean, if this person would have stopped resisting, or on the other side of it would be, why do they always have to kill people? Oh, my God, another black man dead from gun violence. You know, you've all heard those, but I don't think in any way can you take that tweet and somehow turn it on him. But that's exactly what's happening. They're taking that tweet. This is the leap. The leap is he tweeted a wrongful death by this person, by this cop, and it has something to do with the fact that he was involved in some crazy weirdo accident that no one has any idea of what happened in this scenario. So not the same. This did not age well, so-and-so wrote on the thread of Baldwin's tweet. Another appeared to jump to Baldwin's defense, writing two completely different situations. It is. See, this is why social media is so stupid. It's so many people who think they're smart and that they're clever or somehow they're getting back at someone who has upset them. Alec Baldwin is extremely polarizing because of, first of all, his impression of Trump and his political leanings. So people are taking this horrible incident. The story is hours old, and are making this really, really terrible. The worst in people on display. Boomer Bob, who is remarkably just head and shoulders the stupidest person in the audience today. He wrote, he pulled the trigger. It's called accountability. Well, look, I don't know anything, and nor do you. You don't know shit, okay? But I would venture to guess we have a horrible accident that took place. Now, I don't have political leanings one way or the other on any of this. But I guess my point is people like those people indicting him for an old tweet about police, some cop shooting somebody and saying, oh, yeah, you see, yeah, oh, my God, this is just... Somehow tying him into that with this moment in time is just ridiculous. So what you get here is you get dumbasses like Boomer Bob who have a axe to grind with Baldwin because of how he is politically, and the worst of people is already coming out. It is on display on the post that I wrote on Facebook, where I had to be very careful not to write, well, you are a stupid fuck, and go fuck yourself to people, because then I would wind up in Facebook jail. I did, in fact, write something terrible, and then I went, and then I backed it up and went, okay, I gotta keep it on the up and up here. I've several days without an incident now. It's been since September 12th. We are 10 days since I've had been let back in. I don't want to fuck it up, you know? So I wrote, Alec Baldwin accidentally kills director of cinematography with prop gun. Click for the story. Picture of Baldwin crying. It's a heartbreaking picture of the guy crying. I don't give a shit about what you say about a person. I mean, even if I was a right-wing lunatic, I wouldn't be sitting there piling on this man who just killed this innocent woman accidentally and shot the director also. This 42-year-old woman who was killed, had a husband, got kids. You know, the whole thing stinks. There's nothing really to say about this, frankly. But yet all of these assholes in the world are spouting off about this exact incident. Rob Payne, who a lot of these people have been real dicks over the years on my page. Rob Payne is one of them. He wrote, let's just say he's not a nice human being. Well, what does that have to do with anything? Who gives a shit? You still have a woman dead here. Isn't that what the big issue here is? The fact that this crazy, wild death that no one knows anything about? Joe writes, how do you kill someone with a prop gun? Good question. Thad well, when you load it with real ammo, funny things happen, like it shoots bullets. Steve wrote Brandon Lee all over again. Seems like it. And there's this one. Kim wrote karma. Huh? Kim's a dude, by the way. This guy has been a thorn in my side for the longest time. Huge pain in the ass. Ryan writes, Kim, karma? So you're saying the woman who was killed by mistake did something terrible and deserved it? That's pretty weird. I wrote, yeah, you're blowing his mind with that, Ryan. Kim has proven time and again on my page how his brain operates. I doubt he, dude named Kim, even follows what you wrote. All he saw was that something terrible happened and Alec Baldwin was involved, and that made him write karma. Somebody else wrote something terrible and then referred to him. Yeah, what a fuck him. He's a Biden blower. It's like, dude, what is going on here with you people? Holy shit. Let's see. See if Boomer Bob continues to be a dumb cock. So if I run you over with my car unintentionally and you die, I'm buried under the prison. But if it's on a movie set, totally cool. No, I just said, I don't know anything, and nor do you. And also, this is a horrible example, but it shows how stupid you are. You are well aware that you are behind the wheel of an object that can very easily kill someone. A prop gun does not kill someone. Henceforth, it's not the same at all. So that's a terrible, terrible attempt at trying to somehow position yourself into some spot where you like have the upper hand in this discussion. This is why you need an Eric Zane Discord. I have an Eric Zane Discord, you stupid shit. If you would quit making stupid theories about this whole thing and dumb examples, you might know that. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's driving me crazy. I can't handle them. All right. Well, there you go. I just want to start with that all of this nonsense, the soulless behavior by these animals in the world, Boomer Bob is one of them, fucking terrible. This is worth mentioning, the plot of this film. It centers on Alec Baldwin's character, Harlan Rust, an infamous Western outlaw who has had a bounty on his head for as long as he can remember. His estranged 13-year-old grandson, played by Lucas Noon, is convicted of an accidental murder and sentenced to hang. Russ travels to Kansas to break him out of prison. Hold on a second. Sure thing, period. What do you need? Question mark. Queen of the Forest needs me to bring her something back to the school. All right. That's enough on that. Let's move on. Let's get to what a lot of you really want to hear about, and that is the drama involving Bleeding Heart Brian. A dude who is a 1,000,000% a shining light of positivity and good, and someone who I actually considered a friend because he just seemed like the type of guy that I would gravitate towards, as a lot of you have. I mean, if you have, seriously, when it comes to the relationship between me and the audience, I think we're all pretty close. But if you ever did something like this and took the type of liberty that he did, I'd be pretty pissed off. Okay? I think you're all fantastic. Some of you, I know, like, I have you in my phone. My God, and I do that because it's just an awesome relationship. It's been perfect. I'm not sure where this came from. I would like to think that in the amount of time that I've been working on this show, I've busted my ass trying to get this thing going the way I want it to be, humming just the way I want it. And been a ton of great things that have been happening as we've continued on to grow the show. And I have a lot of you to thank for it. I have all of you to thank for it. If anybody's even just giving me any of their time, I thank you for that. Okay? I think Bleeding Heart Brian went the route of when I said, hey, feel free to email me about anything you want to talk about. Now, what I meant by that was, like, for example, Boomer Bob, if he was busting me about something I said, that would allow me to take it to the air, have content, things like that. And I did take this to the air, pretty pissed off. But this is not what I meant. Okay? Let me back up. This morning, I get, Eric, this is going to be some harsh but needed criticism. That right there, none of you have earned that. Okay? We're not at that level. We're at the level of, hey, we should go hang out at Pepino's. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I love it. Or, oh my God, I can't believe you said that about me. Or, I can't believe you, this is how you feel about that. Things like that. But the idea that someone can be so bold and say, I'm going to tell you about how you need to run the show that you've built is beyond inappropriate. And I think all of you, with the exception of Brian, agree with me. Concerning the segment with Cardiff Electric, where I basically put him on for 5 to 10 minutes, screwed around, everybody yelled at me. If it ended there, it'd have been fine. It was funny. How you all overreacted and flipped out at me. Would I do it again? I don't know yet. I haven't decided. But it was something different. I went for it. Most did not like it. Some did, too. But that was it. No big deal. You never know. And when I throw shit at the wall and I see if it sticks, I've done this a million times. Remember the guy I called, the racist guy who I was talking to, the Voice of America? That was going great. Then he got really racist. I canceled that shit. D. Adonis. I was talking with him, trying to see if he would have anything. I said, boy, I don't know. No, I don't want to do that. So, I do this shit all the time. Okay? And so whatever. I thought this would be another one of those. Little trial run. See if there's any chemistry, if there's anything fun worth talking about, if anybody gets it. No big deal. You had the whole segment that flopped with Cardiff Electric. I skipped ahead to get through it. At the end of the show, you called the audience butthurt. It was terrible. If your show relied upon that kind of content, I wouldn't listen, Eric. You call out Free Bear and Hot Wings for being lazy with their content. Yet many days, you seemingly rely on the comment section of your live stream for content. You call out Opie for bantering and ridiculing his audience. Yet you have full conversations with audience members in the live stream and you tell them to eat 300. If you must rely on the conversation in the live stream for content, how is that not being lazy? How is what you do with telling audience members off and making them eat 300 any different than Opie? You were at one point able to go entire shows without interacting with audience and making it entertaining. As someone who rarely gets the show live, so he doesn't even pay attention to the shit live. He's telling all of you what you should like. It's a hard listen when you have to listen to those conversations taking place live. And it almost feels to me as though if I can't listen live and be part of it, well, I shouldn't listen at all. It's more of a live conversation that I, or those that listen later, can take part in. There used to be coverage of multiple stories on various topics with hilarious yet thought out viewpoints. Now we get one story from the news. Now this part pissed me off. Brady Bunch happenings in the household. Okay, let me tell you something right now. That part of my content, stories about my family, are the relatable side of things. Any idiot can read the news and formulate an opinion about it. Any idiot can do that. Listen to any podcast, that's all they do. That is not my game. My game is to get you all on the same page with me and the things going on in my life. Heart on a sleeve, emotions, all of the NFK things, all the drama with my daughters, and oh my God, Jim and Aubrey and my grandkids. Those are the moments that I am the most proud of. The stuff with my wife. Oh my God, she's probably more popular than I am. So who the fuck are you to tell me to stop talking about my fucking family? What a fucking clown. And this guy loved me. I mean, I would call him up, say, hey, Brian, how you doing? You know? Fuck it. Brady Bunch happenings in the household and a pothead who is not interesting. Well, look, okay. It's all time fillers because apparently you can't find or don't want to drum up something to talk about. And then he adds, I hope this help you understand why others might be approaching other audience members. Now, I don't know what that means. But look, dude, I don't know what to tell you. The bread and butter that listen to my show, and that is, okay, there's kind of like, there's a lot of not so loud minority who rarely ever correspond with me. People who just listen to maybe the audio podcast. Not everybody gets the live podcast and the video stream. It's all different layers of, some correspond, some don't at all. Okay? But the one thing that I can be absolutely certain of, the folks that listen to it as it's happening live are the super diehards, the folks that actually give me a handful of cash on Patreon. Super diehards. And I don't really go out of my way to make it more palatable for one group of audience than another. I just go in here into this room and do my thing, and that's it. And if it happens to fall where I have a handful of people who want to support or listen, fine. That's it. I'll do that for as long as I can. And I don't know how you got, hey, correspond with me on stories. Let me know what's going on, good or bad in your life, whatever. To make you think that you have that type of sway to try to throw that shit at me. Okay? If anybody talked to me that way, it would be the same fucking thing. Bobby writes, why does he act like you owe him something? I don't know. Kyler said, if I could listen live more and piss you off more, I would. But here I am not bitching about it. Not hard. If even Kyler can understand, I mean, and he's simple, then it's totally in my favor between me and the audience against you. They all hate you now. Tarantula Farmer says, I love the family stories, especially Meathead and the NFK. Chris says, quote, cater the show to me. I wrote back. You heard me. Well, no offense, but I do the show because it's fun and it's all I have. I enjoy interacting with the comments if they're fun and if it's something I can play off of. There was a real learning curve with that. It was a time when I wouldn't do that, didn't want to do that because it's difficult to continue trying to make a point while you're reading. But if you can master it, if you can figure it out, okay, I got to read that. That's the way I communicate. That's the way your thoughts come to me and further what I'm talking about. I might give an opinion about COVID or something like that, and you might beat my ass on it when then, okay, you interacting with me and me reading what you write, that furthers the bit. It furthers the discussion. It's just like texting into a show. Thank you. Those moments are different than what you're describing. Not exactly the same. I have the ability to discern what I want to voice and such. As for your opinions, it's just that. I can take it or leave it. Your opinion matters the same and is the opinion of someone glowingly speaking about me. Some people liked the segment with Cardiff. Some people didn't. That's it. No biggie. I wanted to try something different. It was the one time I did it with an untested bit of content. Some would argue that makes me different. In a nutshell, I do what I want on the show because I find it fun. Don't like it? There's nothing I can do about that. I don't do this to simply kiss individual people's ass. So if you're hell-bent on putting me in my place, there's the door. Congrats, you've pissed me off, and I'll be happy to read your overly sensitive bullshit. Enjoy the day, but fuck off. And I don't feel any bit bad about that. Normally, when I tell somebody to fuck off, within a minute, I feel bad. In fact, I've texted him and told him to fuck off, and then immediately apologized. That's how badly this dick pissed me off. The follow-up. He wrote, I'm the one being overly sensitive. You said yesterday, don't be a pussy. These conversations need to be had. I don't think I said, call me up and give me criticism on everything I'm doing. Absolutely different. Maybe you took it wrong. Maybe you're not listening. I don't know. I engage you with that conversation and you proceed to tell me you're pissed off and doing it your way regardless? Question. How long are the download bumps you see sustaining? My answer, none of your business. Do they fall off over time? A period of days? Weeks? I don't know. You're asking too much. Leave me alone. Maybe you're right. I should just see myself out. Maybe I've just grown tired of what this show has become versus what I was used to. No insults from me, though. Have a great weekend. Yes, you should see yourself out. And I don't often do that. But it's time for you to go. You should probably quit Patreon if you're still on it. And if I were you, in fact, I should probably do you a favor and refund your money and ban you so that you aren't part of this anymore. We're done here. There's no going back. I'm not interested in anything you have to say going forward. That came from a bad spot. I don't want anything to do with it. Chris writes, seriously, many of us have watched you and your family grow for a very long time. Kids growing up, etc. Of course we want to know about them. Kate says, so sorry, Bri. You are 100% wrong. Describes him as a future silent lurker. Yeah, See you around, buddy. It's been nice knowing you. It was good for a while, but, you know, I don't know what to tell you. Folks, thank you so much. Have a great one. The Ben and Eric Patreon podcast happens tonight at 7 p.m. with Fuckface Ben. I'll be sending the invites out to everybody I see in front of my face right now, and we'll talk then. Till then, go get your booster, or if you're like Boomer Bob, go get your first vaccination. I don't want you to get sick. All right. Till then, bye-bye. Timeout on the field. Another pause on Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Thank you to Rick at TC Paintball. Oh, my God. Word on the street is that we've got a paintball event coming up. I think just after Thanksgiving. Whenever I hear someone like Rick, who's a hustler, you know, self-made person, runs their own business, and they say to me like, I'd love to do this or that, but I don't have time. I get it. I've been there. Well, I'm there right now. I'm always there. I have a real understanding for the grinder who just fucking works his dick off or titties off. That's what Rick at TC Paintball does to make sure you have the best paintball experience at TC Paintball. Online at tcpaintballgr.com. Get the group together. Go there. Have a great time. Just come as you are. You know, well, I shouldn't say that. Don't like show up in a suit. Get in some shitty clothes with the gang and have a paintball party at TC Paintball. It's turnkey. You give them a few bucks, you get everything. Gun, mask, paint. You can even purchase upgrades, like if you're kind of a wuss and you need armor, or maybe you want an upgraded bit of weaponry. They have it all, plus a fully stocked pro shop at tcpaintballgr.com. Everything is scheduled, so you got to call them and actually schedule it. You can't just walk in and say, hey, it's time to shoot up the place. Okay, TC Paintball, online at tcpaintballgr.com. Thank you to my man, Frank Fuss, from My Policy Shop Insurance. So this is awesome. Frank wants to make sure that you are aware of the change in the rules when it comes to Obamacare. Typically, Obamacare or healthcare.gov or the marketplace, if you want to call it that, was reserved for people who their employers did not offer insurance, or they were between jobs, or recently fired, or maybe they work part-time or something like that. Unemployed, you still need insurance. But now it's open for families. Okay, typically if your employer offers you insurance, you couldn't ever get healthcare.gov insurance, which is actually more options for the public. The way it is now, you work for the man. The man offers you your insurance. It doesn't cost you hardly anything to cover you. But if you want to cover your whole family, it's going to be expensive, even though it's employee-offered insurance. You've seen how much they take out of your check. Now, you keep that insurance. Your family applies through healthcare.gov. Why? First of all, more options on policies. Second of all, if your earning is below a threshold established by our fine federal government, you're eligible for a tax subsidy. Translation, the government pays for a good portion of your premium each month. That will save you hundreds of dollars. Are you listening to me? Saving you hundreds of dollars. What do you have to do? Just reach out to Frank and nothing more. You don't pay him a penny. All this is going to take is the time to reach out to him to see if you qualify. If you do qualify, holy shit, that could open up a door for huge savings. And Frank is the only person who is qualified to do this for you. Check out this website. Go to buyinsurancehere.com, B-U-Y, insurancehere.com to find out more. When you do that, there's a drop down that says, how'd you hear from me? And it'll say, Eric Zane. Make sure you hit that. Find out more with Frank Fuss. All right. On to more of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast.
I'll get your fucking skirt off and chug that fucking beer, dude. Yeah. Let's get this fucking show on the road, bud. Come on, guy.
Yes, hello. Sean Gotti here, coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina. And there's not a single radio show around here that's worth a damn. So I'm listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast, coming to you live Monday through Friday. So sit back, get your trays in the upright position, feet and elbows out of the aisle, because here he comes, Eric Zane.
Okay, so, you know, I said the show was starting at 12:35, and I actually did start at 12:35, except I didn't publish it, so I was here talking to no one. And then, you know, right away, I'm like, oh, fuck, this isn't right. Normally, people are, like, saying hello, and we're sharing jokes, and they're saying I look like an asshole and shit like that. What the hell? How come it's not happening? And then I realized I fucked it all up. But anyway. If you missed the post-free podcast Twitch stream brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid NEV, you missed a first. I played for you the Mr. 10 video. It was so bad, and you can still go back and see it, twitch.com/Eric Zane Live. It was so bad. I couldn't do it. I was going to like narrate it along, but it was so fucked up that I had to leave. I mean, physically walk out of the room. I let the dogs outside. I went and made a cup of coffee. The thing ended. It went into a John Boy media video and it was fucking horrible, but everybody loved it. It was just so bad. Oh my God. The dance. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Now that it's passed, you need to know that originally I just thought it was going to be, you go there, you show your guns. I mean, I was there, whatever you want. I mean, I was extremely ripped. I had no body fat at the time. I probably weighed 143 pounds there. Okay. I looked like very like skinny and jacked, and you can see my 10-pack abs. I was like, oh my God, it was 40 pounds ago. But it was horrible. It was so bad. Dirk, still think you should have done a side-by-side before and after. You mean comparing Eric then to Eric now? Oh my God. Like shot for shot. Oh, it'd be so ridiculous. Too much work. Fun to think about. So bad. So terrible. But nobody even gave a shit that I was, as Chris says, seriously in shape, because fucking how ridiculous of a thing that was. Be honest with you, though, that was all show and no go. That is all show, no go. Heart and lungs weren't worth a shit. It was all just lifting weights and eating a certain type of diet. That is not healthy. When I used to do triathlon, now that's healthy. That's the whole package. But those days are gone. Now I'm struggling to go take a walk. Which brings me to, all right, I'm already starting the road to really, really inept, horrible body struggles. And because here we are 1 week and 2 days removed from the half marathon, my swan song in endurance sports. Lisa says, Eric Zane, you look better now. Well, you are my favorite audience member for the day. I'll just tell you that right now. Thank you. Laying in bed last night, and I'm like, why? What the fuck is going on here? And my right foot is fucking killing me. And all throughout the show, I have been massaging this foot. I have no sock on it. It's just me on the right side, right where, so if you can picture your baby toe all the way down to where toe becomes foot. There's a joint there to all those foot bones there. And right in there, there's like this inflammation that I'm trying to like rub out the pain. And oh my God, it just is killing me. Oh God, it kept me awake last night. I was like, what is happening to me? It's been days since I've done any type of endurance sports. And you know, I've heard people say, well, as soon as you stop moving, that's when everything starts hurting. I'm like, fuck. No. Patriot Nick says, good afternoon, folks. His swan song in sports and his opening salvo to one-man competitive eating. Look, okay. In all seriousness, it's really important. I know I touched on this in the free podcast, but it's worth mentioning again. I cannot become diabetic. I cannot. That will shorten my lifespan horribly. And if you have one kidney, it's really a problem. That is the number. This is what they told me before they yanked the kidney out of me. They go, you don't have diabetes. You show no signs you're going to get diabetes. It is in your family, though. This kidney's coming out of you. You got to watch what you eat. You can't eat yourself into diabetes. And I'm like, no problem, man. I'm a super athlete. But here we are. Melissa says, did we already discuss the epic video? Yes, you missed it. Don't be late again. Derek says you'll win the Wilford Brimley Award. Yeah, that's true. So I got to do something, man. I cannot do this. Doesn't help when Mike Ball is trying to kill me. All right. By bringing me snacks. The trouble with me is when it comes to eating that shit, I don't have a dimmer switch. I can't. I just like gorge. So today, I walked by this ceramic pumpkin that the Queen of the Forest puts out every year at about this time. And what does it have in it? Well, it's the official start of holiday eating. You take the top off of it and you will see 65% peanuts, 35% candy corn. Unbelievable. One of the most addicting things ever. Peanuts and candy corn. Candy corn alone, I am not a candy corn hater. I love candy corn. But you add that peanuts blend to it, and it's got to be the right type of peanuts. If it's asshole Spanish peanuts with that little foreskin wrapper around them, fuck that. It's got to be naked. All right? Now, you got a mixed bag of response on candy corn. Melissa, who is brilliant because she says it's just like eating a payday candy bar. Remember, you told me that last year. It's so true. It's like, oh, my God, handfuls of payday. Salted peanuts. You're absolutely right, Chris. The Duchess does not like candy corn. That's a knock on you. That's a horrible thing to say. Walked by it. I took the lid off this morning. What did I do? I carefully picked out 3 or 4 peanuts. No candy corn. Okay. No big deal. Later on, I had a few more nuts from the pantry. That's it. It's very important that I just somehow stem this wave of sugar God dang it. I actually laid in bed last night and I was like, okay, seriously. You're going to hurt yourself here. You have got to turn this around. That is, that's got to be one of the hardest things that a person can do is suddenly just change your diet like that. Holy fuck. All right. So foot issues, check. Mr. 10 video, check. Go back and watch it. Twitch.com/Eric Zane Live. No sugar yet. Check. Shalise Manza Young. That's the crazy bitch who won Asshole of the Day. Okay? All right. Now, she is a Yahoo sports writer, and she also, what else does she do? She's been covering New England sports for quite some time. She's pretty prominent. She's got a lot of people that follow her on Twitter. So she wrote that fucking scathing thing about Tony Romo. That story about Tony Romo and that stupid, oh, God, over-the-top response about this, okay? Saying, oh, my God, it's toxic male. It's horrible. He's pimping out. He's trying to pimp out Gisele Bundchen. This is so awful. I don't think I need to play it all for you again. Most of you probably know what's going on with that story, but just real quick, this was
negotiations in NFL history.
Right here, he's like, we need that ball. That's 600. What? Really? So what do you want? $1 million? No.
Oh, no,
a date with Gisele. A date with Gisele, and I'm in. Tom? Okay, Tom will do it. He'll allow it. One time, you got it.
Now, Tom Brady would laugh at the silliness of that. It is silly. It's ridiculous. It's so inconceivable. That's why it's a joke. That's how comedy works. But in today's day and age, you cannot do that. So this crazy bitch, and the name is Shalise Manza Young, with an emphasis on man because that's what she looks like. And I wanted to lash out and say that to her directly, but I figured that this would be a problem if I did do that. If the alarms started going off in my brain immediately about this sick bitch, and that I should not do that because she would somehow try to cancel me. And before I even did any research, that's what I thought. And then when I looked at her spot on Twitter, that is exactly what she is doing to people. You can't see it, but this somebody wrote to her, you obviously cannot take a joke. Go to hell. All right. Well, what she did was she screenshot that. And then she found out where the guy works. And then she tweeted at his employer, is this your employee? He says he works for you. Trying to get to fuck this guy up. Someone said he sent you a complaint on LinkedIn. Manza Young wrote, sure did. And if you're dumb enough to tell me to go to hell with your employee's name attached, I'm going to put it on Twitter. This person wrote, this is the most pathetic reaction to a negative comment that has ever been made public by a quote-unquote journalist, all because you can't handle how much everyone hates your Romo article. The same person wrote to this crazy bitch and to the employer who got roped into this. This has to be a joke. How can this pathetic excuse for a human continue to be employed by Yahoo? You need that badly to appease the woke that you allow a quote-unquote journalist to try to cancel a reader for a negative comment. This is the lowest of the low. And I tend to agree that the article is way off base, indicting Romo. And then, you know, someone says, yeah, go to hell. Your article's stupid. Fuck you. And then this is how it goes. What a loser this chick is. Of course, she brings race and gender into it and then turns off her comments. What a lucrative career it must be writing about race and gender in sports for an esteemed publication like Yahoo. You are pathetic going after someone's employer for something said online unless it was beyond over the top. Not sure how you have a job because your opinion is garbage and just being angry for the sake of being angry. That's true. This is an industry where, if you can't make it as a writer with whatever, your observations about real world shit, and you have to make up shit out of thin air in order to get people to read your fucking article, I guess she's doing a good job. I didn't know who this crazy bitch was to begin all of this, but fuck you. My God. So there's a kind of a big backlash against this idiot. Here you go. If you want. Have at it. The Duchess says she's going to die on that hill. Rob says you need a burner account. You know what? It doesn't matter. She's heard it all. JM Synthetics, Jason May says, it gets rid of sugar? Painting the basement. Well, no, it doesn't. That's dumb. Second of all, I'm working on it. You don't know this because you don't listen. That's why you went to the wrong spot on Twitter, because you don't listen. I worked on it this past weekend, okay? Yesterday, I did not because I had a busy day. I was doing work shit all day, and I was emceeing for the Grand Rapids Gold last night. So shut up. My God. Okay. Moving on. This is the funniest story about a police shooting you will ever find. And I'll play the audio to prove that in a second. I texted the reporter locally who did this story, the multi-talented Ken Coker. I wrote a quote from the story of the guy he's interviewing, which I don't want to say because it'll tip off the whole story. Ken responded, "That guy was a walking soundbite machine." I said, "Holy shit. It's the funniest story about a police shooting I've ever seen in my life. And the guy the cop shot is dead." Ken said, "Yeah, I must say I'd agree with that." So I guess in the community of Kentwood, Michigan, a bunch of dudes were hanging out over the weekend, on Sunday, I think. And one of the guys got belligerent, lost his mind. He was shit-faced. Comes running out of the bedroom, swinging knives, stab one person. Cops bust in, shoot the fucker dead. One of the other guys who was in there, you're going to hear from him in a second. He's a fucking dumbass crackhead. Don't believe me? It'll be proven. Okay. He ended up getting shot by a non-lethal by the cops. This is the story of the Kenwood police shooting as told by Ken Coker from Wood TV8 and some local crackhead.
The guy that got stabbed sitting right here.
Vincent Vallow says his 60-year-old roommate, the suspect, had been acting strangely most of the night.
The suspect came out of his room right here. They get entangled with it. He gets stabbed. We all hell break loose.
He says the roommate stabbed the victim in the abdomen and was coming after him when Kentwood police came in through the side door.
It ended up over here. Police come storming in. That's where I got shot. I dropped dead, fell out. And then he...
Okay, so you heard it. I got shot. I dropped dead. Those were his words.
Up over here, police come storming in. That's where I got shot. I dropped dead, fell out. And then he steady going. They shot him.
Vallow says he was running through the kitchen toward that door when police shot him, apparently by mistake, with a non-lethal weapon, leaving a painful welt on his abdomen. Police say they also hit the suspect with a beanbag shot, but that it didn't stop him. Vallow says he recalls hearing police yell what he believed were warnings, then counted about 5 more shots fired at his roommate.
They ended up pulling him over here, trying to sustain him from not passing away. He died like right here.
The roommates were among 9 people at the home on Grantwood Avenue near 44th Street for an evening that included dinner.
We just all hanging out, chilling.
And crack.
Just having a good time.
But he says the roommate drank too much.
Coming in and outside of his room with a knife, with his shirt off, walking around the house all day long with 2 knives.
Then he said,
So basically they're probably just trying to watch a fucking football game. They had something to eat, and this guy is, as he said, walking around the house all day long with 2 knives.
Walking around the house all day long with 2 knives.
Then he says the stabbing about 10:30 last night and calls to police for help.
It was like a full-grown steak knife. It was
like a
huge.
butcher knife?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
You heard it right. A full-grown steak knife.
Charging that.
Which is what I wrote in quotes to Ken Colker. It was like a full-grown steak knife.
So I guess they felt threatened. He just like devil was in his eye. He just kept going towards the officer, and that's why they ended up shooting him.
Now, the man who was stabbed was hospitalized in stable condition. The officer who fired the shots is on administrative leave, which is standard practice, while the Kent County Sheriff's Department investigates the shooting.
It was like a full-grown steak knife. It was
like a
huge.
butcher knife?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we need to work this into our vocabularies going forward. Honey, can you get me a full-grown steak knife when you're getting ready to do a choppy, making the chili, and you want to cut up the onions or whatever? Proud Papa Knife out there somewhere. His little boy's all grown up. That's right, a full-grown steak knife.
It was like a full-grown steak knife. It was
like a butcher knife?
Yeah.
All right, I'll link that up in the show notes. You can see for yourself. Nice place. Ken Colker doing that job as the reporter. I would be, it would be very difficult to do that story. And after the guy says this.
It was like a full-grown steak knife. It was
like a
huge.
butcher knife?
I don't know how we don't hear Ken go, idiot, or laugh, doing some type of chuckling or snickering or laughing. Ugh. Holy shit, is that fantastic. All right. Some comforting airline talk to get to. Thank you to Chris K. for sending along a couple of stories. The Department of Transportation announcing that American Airlines has been putting unairworthy aircraft into the air. Okay. All right. The Department of Transportation's Inspector General has cited several issues with maintenance at American Airlines that resulted in flight by unairworthy aircraft. So I think I saw a documentary on Air Force One, of course, what transports the president. And on the actual turbines for the motors, there's those fins that spin around like crazy that sometimes you see a bird go flying in there and shit like that. Well, they have to examine. Well, all planes get those fins examined on a microscopic level because over time, the stress that hits those fins, it causes little microscopic little I don't want to say fractures, but weakness to some degree that you can see if you look at it under like a microscope. You have to get very close to see it, and once that happens, that's really not a good thing to be having those. They would change those out. Okay, so on a regular passenger aircraft, it gets to a certain point where if they do see some of those, that's one thing. But if it gets to be too prominent, those motors get taken out. And for on Air Force One, barely any of those. They take no risks whatsoever when it comes to those fins on the airplane. That's apparently not happening these days Because this report released just the other day, noting that the Inspector General's office is critical of the FAA's relationship with the airline, American Airlines, saying you guys are letting this go. This is ridiculous. The agency lacks sufficient oversight to determine whether the airline appropriately identifies, assesses, and mitigates aircraft maintenance risks. Among the issues documented, I should say, was a jet that flew passengers for not a week, not a month, not 6 months, not a year, not 2 years, more than 2 years, 877 days with, like if you make a landing, sometimes they have to put the slide out and you throw yourself down and you go, well, this one was busted. There's like, if there was any need to do that, they would land the plane. Oh, my God, we made it. We landed the plane. All right, the thing's on fire. Everybody's alive, but we got to get out. Okay, hit the button how come it isn't going? What the fuck? Where's our evacuation slide? Oh, shit, fuck, we're going to die. The thing was busted. In another instance, a jet flew for 1,002 hours, and a key component of the engine, the bushings, were not there. I don't know if they fucking fell off or what. And improperly installed struts holding the engines in place, which could produce a risk of the plane or the motors moving in a way that cause it to loosen even more. And then, cruising along at altitude and the motor flies off. Whatever. No big deal. This unsettling news, this report found that FAA inspectors did not routinely or consistently evaluate whether the carrier adequately or effectively assessed and rated risks. Talk about a line of work that there is absolutely no room for error. There can never, ever be any shortcuts, ever. This is in part because the FAA did not provide its inspectors with comprehensive training and tools for overseeing and evaluating the carrier's SMS, which I probably should know what that means based on what I've read. Safety Management System. Holy shit. American Airlines is one of the largest airlines in the world, has not experienced a fatality, a fatal accident in nearly 20 years. Well, not for long if this keeps up. So good luck with that. Shit, man. This sounds like one of those JetBlue flights or, even worse, Spirit Airlines. My God. That makes me kind of happy that I don't have to fly nearly as much as I used to. I think since the old radio days, I've taken like one flight. We used to have to take those flights all the time. That was like one of the worst things ever, having to do those market visits. Ugh. Fuck. Back before fuckhead Kosan sunk his claws into the show and fucked it all up, we used to actually charge money to go on those market visits. Like if you wanted us for our time, there'd be a price tag associated with it. I mean, we're giving you a whole weekend of time. It goes, we're working. I'm not going to do it for fucking free. Piece of shit Kosan insisted we do it for actually free, no dollars. And we did it at first because we didn't want to be going every fucking weekend. But in an effort to, we'll do anything. We'll do anything to keep you as an affiliate. We're going to do it for free. That decision was made. Oh, no. It was fucking every fucking weekend. We got to go to another fucking town and do these horrible, horrible live shows. Which, if you're listening on the radio, they always sounded like shit. They were the only time they ever sounded any good was when we were in Portland, Maine with Pat Collins. All the rest of them just blew fucking dick. Terrible. So glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. Well, hell, I wouldn't have to deal with it anymore if I was back at the radio station because nobody does shows anymore because of COVID. Because Dirk won't get vaccinated. All right. JM Synthetics. Zaniacs get-togethers equal market visits to Zane. Why do you always have to cause so much trouble, Maze? That is not true at all. You understand, asshole, that I'm not flying when I do Zaniac get-togethers. I enjoy my time with the Zaniacs. Don't put words into my mouth, you fucking giant white gorilla. What the fuck is wrong with you? He says I'm engaging the audience in laughter. No, you're fucking making me look bad, you stupid Neanderthal. Jesus. That's it. I'm not changing your logo. Totally kidding. Furtaw says, no, he's making us laugh. No, bullshit. Me yelling at him is what's making you laugh, you fucking idiot. Thank you, Terry. Jason, what the hell is wrong with you? Emo knows. Listen to your cousin, dick. Shit. All right. This story, some of you clown assholes are going to agree with, and you're going to be like, yeah, right on. This is appropriate. And that makes me sad. You know who you are. Okay? But in a perfect world, you're hearing this and you're like, yeah, that's a bit much. I cannot get behind that. But I don't give enough of you the benefit of the doubt. Some of you are going to be like, yes, I love this. This is great. This is appropriate. Donald Trump Jr., who, you know, I don't know about you, but just one look at that guy and I'm like, I wouldn't trust you with fucking shit. You just look like the type of guy that I would hate. Is selling T-shirts mocking Alec Baldwin killing that woman with the prop gun. This is taken from the page of person who is happy that Baldwin feels bad that he killed someone because Alec Baldwin is anti-gun. Now, I am pro-gun, okay? But even I know that to suggest what people are suggesting, Alec Baldwin, you're sad because you killed someone, is so fucking dark to me that I think it's kind of evil. I think you're kind of getting hell points with that opinion, okay? It's not good. You don't want to live your life that way. That is that's a terrible thing. Trump Jr. is selling T-shirts on his website with the tagline, "Guns don't kill people. Alec Baldwin kills people." I'm sorry. That's horrible. What a fucking asshole. That is one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. So if you spend $27.99, you can get this shirt. And I can promise you a lot of people are going to get this shirt. Trump also took to Instagram to share a meme that said, "Let's all watch Alec Baldwin blame the gun." That's actually pretty funny. Actually, the T-shirt is pretty funny in a dark way, but probably not a good idea to speak of it and spread it all around like that. It's pretty horrible. So I don't know, man. pretty fucked up. Baldwin, of course, with what he did to Donald Trump, that is what's leading Donald Trump Jr. to do this. He's like, well, okay, now it's open season because he killed some lady. And that's what's kind of lost in all this. I just find that fucking terrible. Trump Jr., since the fatal shooting, has been regularly sharing memes of Baldwin on his Instagram page. Last week, he posted a meme with the caption, "That look when an anti-gun nut kills more people with a gun than your extensive firearm collection ever has." Wow. Trump also promoted the shirt on Instagram with a doctored image of Baldwin wearing the shirt. Trump rejected criticism of his actions in an Instagram story, saying, "Screw all the sanctimony. I'm seeing it out there. If the shoe was on the other foot, Alec Baldwin would literally be the first person pissing on everyone's grave trying to make a point. You don't know that." And then he writes, "Fuck him." God. That's what I said on the free podcast. I can't stand free beer. But if he killed somebody, I wouldn't be like, yeah, karma. You deserve it. Fuck the sanctimonious nature. Fuck him. Screw him. I hate that guy. That's just where we are in the world, I guess. Maybe I'm just a little bit too sensitive for the world. Maybe this is the right thing to do. What do you think? I don't know, man. That's a little rough to me. I kind of draw the line there. That is going to do it for the Patreon bonus podcast. You guys are the best as always. I appreciate you. All right, another pause on Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. I was just informed, by the way, as I record this on Thursday, Thursday, October 5th, that on coming up on Monday, that would be the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Wait a minute. Let me double check here. I don't like, trying to figure that. Okay, yeah. That is October 9th. Carl from Who Are These Podcasts and your old pal EZ are teaming up to host the Anthony Cumia Show. Apparently, Anthony is hard at work building a Habitat for Humanity home in inner city Chicago, and he can't do it. So they had Carl and I do it. So if you are on Compound Media for the first time ever live, and I've hosted Anthony's show before, but it was pre-recorded. This is actually going to be live. Carl and EZ live on Compound Media. Go to compoundmedia.com and sign up. I think they got a free one too. I think they got a trial. If not, I don't know. Buy a fucking month. I don't know. And you can check Carl and I do our thing on Compound Media on Monday. Anthony Cumia Show. 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Not a minute later. And then Tuesday, Christian Blatt and your old pal EZ podcast, 3 p.m. Eastern. All these times are Eastern. When we do Who Are These Broadcasters? I wonder if I could get more. I wonder if I could do more podcasts. I'm now averaging like 5 hours of talk time a day. Holy fuck. All right. Anyway. Thank you to Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. 616-532-6600. When you need your car repaired and you're in West Michigan, that's where you go. ervines.com. Irvines.com. They specialize in all makes and models. They can fix your hybrid. They can fix your EV. God help you if you get an EV and you already got to take it into the shop. Fuck, man, that would be a bummer. 616-532-6600 for Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. It's furnace tune-up season for Joe Martinez. In fact, I got one coming up on Thursday, the 12th of October. Old Joe be here tuning up mine. Now, his is $79. Now, with that, you get it cleaned, tuned, and him assessing how much life you have in that thing. Because, like, he took a look at mine a few years back. He goes, you got some life. No big deal. I'll let you know when it's getting ready to die. He has so much expertise, he can tell you when that thing's going to puke. Now, if you bring in any one of these other shitbag heating and cooling companies in the area, they're going to try to get you with like a $29 furnace tune-up. And I can promise you, they're going to turn around and say, well, I got to stop. I got to stop tuning it up because you need a brand new furnace. Here's Leo, the salesman, who's going to get you into 11 GER so that it works. What do you say? Sign a high-pressure sales. Get the fuck out of my house, you bald bitch. Get Joe Martinez in there to tune that thing up. $79. Support our sponsors, please. Last but not least, Mario Flores is batting last in the lineup today, but definitely not the least. When it comes to getting a mortgage, there is no one better. I swear by Mario. 231-332-6505. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Not just on the Lakeshore. That's just the brand. Anywhere in the United States. You got to be somewhere near a lake, right? Unless you like live in the desert. 231-332-6505. Whether it's your first mortgage, your 10th, maybe a refi, maybe you're getting money out of your home to pay for a high-interest credit card bill or get a new roof or a hooker or something. I don't know. 231-332-6505. Okay, more of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Hey everybody, this is Crank, also known as the White John Coffee. When I'm not busy servicing my Ford,
I don't get that joke,
or cleaning up after my 4 tax deductions, I listen to the Eric Zane Show podcast, and so should you. Don't forget to support his sponsors, because hey, let's face it, the guy's not that talented, and he needs all the help he can get.
Sure. Breaks my heart every time. I just sent Adam the Odd his Twisted Sister record. He had obtained that. I was like, yeah, dude, if you want a record, if you purchase something from JM Synthetics, I'm sending you a record. He goes, I want that Twisted Sister record. Sign it. So I signed it. And it's the one with We're Not Gonna Take It. And I want to rock. I want to rock. He, on the album cover, he on the front and the back, both images of Dee Snider look like he's taken a dump. On the cover, he's holding what looks to be a big bone that you get at like the butcher shop on like a cow or something like that. It's like in order to get a picture, they had to go to a butcher shop and get the bone. Crazy fuck. Thank God that guy doesn't take drugs. I think he's been clean and sober like his whole life, which I'm like, that is a really hard thing to do. To never take drugs or drink, and you're in a rock band. That is fucking phenomenal. Say what you want about how much of a lunatic Ted Nugent is. Thank God these high energy lunatics like Nugent and Dee Snider don't take drugs, or never have, and don't now. I mean, it is just that. I cannot imagine those two being under the influence of something as ridiculously wild as they are without any toxins in their body. Same can be said for your old pal Eric Zane. I don't really remember what it's like to be intoxicated. My wife the other day, this is risky behavior. I probably wouldn't share this on the outside of the paywall. My lovely wife yesterday or Monday, we go to Founders for that thing with the Grand Rapids Gold. And she gets a drink. And she goes, oh, yeah, I think I'll get a raspberry something ale. Whatever. It blows my mind that there's fruity beers. Nothing could sound more disgusting to me than a fruity beer. To me, there's only one beer or a few beers worth drinking. That is an American brewed domestic beer like Budweiser or Busch or Miller Genuine Draft or Miller. I wasn't really a big Coors fan, but it'll do. No Bud Light. It's got to be Budweiser or Busch. That's it. Occasionally a Stroh's. That to me is high-level beer. I've never had a craft beer. She gets this raspberry, whatever, pomegranate. It's red. This is a beer. And she goes, just to taste this. Now, I mean, it's been, my God, 25 years. So, I mean, this is all clearly in the rearview mirror. Impossible to have a relapse at this point. I know you're supposed to never say never, but for God's sake, I drink Busch NA. If I'm ever going to have a relapse, it would be because I drank Busch NA. I got to have the real thing, but I don't need the real thing. I have no interest in it whatsoever. None. Actually, truth be told, I've said this before. It was easier to quit drinking for your old pal Eric Zane than it was to eat appropriately now. That is a fact. I just stopped. I didn't have any white-knuckled nights where I'm like, oh, God, I got to get a drink. Holy shit, fuck, I'm dying. Nothing. Not a thing. So I take a little sip of this. And the only thing that made me want to taste it again was to confirm how shitty it was. You people drink shitty beer. If that's your idea of a good time, I got out at the right time because it's shit. It's absolute swill. If you poured me Mad Dog 2020, I'd take that 10 out of 10 times over this high-end, expensive shit fruit beer that you dicks like to drink now. So fuck your fucking beer. My God, that stuff tastes horrible. Fuck me. Frank Zappa, also clean and sober. Adam says, yeah, Frank Zappa said the same. So is that like he said, oh, thank God I'm not on drugs. If I was, I'd be, is that what he's saying? Melissa, who's really got a hard on about me in this fucking basement. So around this time next year, he'll paint the basement. You know, I think Diana's making you do this because I want to strangle you every time you say that. I'm going to get it done. Shit. Dean says, please do your Ted Nugent impression, Eric. I do the big shimmy shimmy coca pop dance, I boogie bop bebop a loo bop a wham bam boogie woogie baby, yeah. Whoa. I was out with my lovely wife Shemaine. We were out looking for the spirit of the wild. We were traversing the northern Michigan landscape looking for my militia blood brothers, and I said to them, come a-calling, and the mystery of Fred Bear will pervade your soul. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes, and I said, as I loaded my musket. Whoa! I'll do the big shimmy shimmy coca pop wang dang sweet poontang on that deer. Wow! Whoa! All right. Apparently, I've never been on TV before. As I was doing the Twitch stream, somebody got in there and said, "Hey, I'm new here. What's going on?" The next thing you know, trouble. You know me. I probably wasn't. I didn't even see it. Somebody was on there who's not familiar and immediately started causing trouble. And I don't know what the fuck they were saying. I'm going to get this host deplatformed, was the suggestion. Some people are like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, just ignore them. Twitch does not give a shit about what I say. Unless if I suddenly start saying mean things about black people. Or mean things filled with hate. Which, you know, that would never happen. I know the types of shows that are on Twitch. And mine is no different. No problem at all. The only thing they're concerned with, okay, is if I use copywritten material. So there is no rolling the dice on getting busted with a copyright strike. If you get hammered, if you play something you're not supposed to on Twitch, you get a strike. You get 3, you're out. So that's it. Chris says that person was trolling the whole time. Nobody responded. We're learning. LOL. Oh, that is perfect. Perfectamundo. Who used to say that? Fonzie. Absolutely perfect. Just ignore. They'll be like, is this even working? Is anybody seeing my comments as I try to troll? Yeah. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. All right. Not enough info on this story, but in my neck of the woods, West Ottawa, there's a teacher accused of having sex with a student. And my flippant attitude is it always is terrible. But for some reason, no, it's the same. It's always horrible, but I always am amazed at the. I think it's just a hell of a lot. Actually, I take it back. It's a lot more sinister when a guy does it to a young lady. I don't know why. They're punished the same. But I always am like, well, what does she look like? Every time I hear about teacher having sex with student, boy student, I need to know what she looks like. I'm always like, this is my reaction every time. So if I see her, I go, I could see that. I could see that. I could see where, like with Mary Kay Letourneau, when Ville Falau, who I believe was 12 when that all went down, he seduced her. He's the one who approached her, and she was like, ooh, can't wait. So she was twisted to begin with, too, but that whole thing was fucking weird. So who knows? But in this case, Park Township, Michigan, a Holland area, hang on. Oh my God. A Holland area substitute teacher has been charged with criminal sexual conduct. The lady for having sex with a student. Officials say. Jill Ann Edstrom, Edstrom. I've already looked it up. Can't find her on Facebook. I didn't do that thorough of a look, but actually, a name came up, and It turned out to not be her, but I didn't know that because I saw the picture and she was a fucking babe. And I was like, oh my God, Jesus, look at her. She took some kid to Pound Town. Wasn't her. So this 50-year-old from Park Township was arraigned Tuesday on account of third-degree criminal sexual conduct, according to the Ottawa County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff's Office say a months-long, like many months, I think, a months-long investigation found the long-term substitute teacher had a relationship with a 16-year-old male student. Oh, boy. 34-year difference. Yikes. That is fucking rough. And I'm always like, wow, I'm really curious. A, what does she look like? B, what is her spot in life? I mean, is she married with kids? And if she's married with kids, she could very well have kids that are like 10 years older than this kid, this 16-year-old. I mean, I'm 51 and I've got a 26-year-old son. So you could have, if Jill Ann Edstrom is married and, okay, she gets out of jail, divorces her husband, and gets married to the 16-year-old, the 16-year-old could be the stepfather for 26-year-old kids here. Holy shit. Edstrom has posted bond. Okay, I wonder if I can see the mugshot anywhere. Jill Ann Edstrom mugshot. Holland Sentinel's got something. Do they have a picture, though? No. Come on, guys. Her bond was set at $25,000. Detectives began their investigation in August. Nothing happened on campus. All right. Grand Haven Tribune. Anybody got a picture? Anybody got a mugshot? Come on, guys. Newsbreak.com. Starting to go viral. No picture. MLive. Come on. Stock photo of a gavel at the bench. All right. Whew. Well, that's rough. Holy shit. Welcome to a ruined life, asshole. The Duchess of New Jersey. Dean writes Cougar Town. The Duchess of New Jersey writes row, 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 row. You know what they say about substitute teachers and their students. Adam wrote, fuck. Shit. That's a good call. I need to call Diana right now and ask her if she's having sex with any of her students. Diana is, I'm 51.
Hello, you have reached Diana's cell phone.
Hang on a second. Hello, Pooh Bear. ... Oh, hang on. She wrote, in class, everything okay? Yes, ma'am. ... Everything is fine. Period. I was just doing a story about a West Ottawa substitute teacher who's 50 years old and she was having sex with a 16-year-old student. Period. Are you by chance having sex with any of your students? ? I just wanted to ask you during the Patreon bonus podcast. Period. Thank you very much. Period. I love you. Period. Hold on a second. I did that all wrong. Hey, Siri.
Uh-huh.
Text Pooh.
What do you want to say?
Everything is fine, period. I just did a story about some whore teacher at West Ottawa who's 50 years old and banging one of her 16-year-old boy students, period. Since you are a substitute teacher and my wife, I wanted to ask you if you are having sex with any 16-year-old students that are boys, period. I love you very much, period. Bye-bye.
Your message to Paul says everything is fine. I just did a story about some poor teacher at West Ottawa who is 50 years old and banging one of her 16-year-old boy students. Since you are a substitute teacher and my wife, I wanted to ask you if you were having sex with any 16-year-old students that are boys. I love you very much. Bye-bye. Ready to send it?
No.
Okay, I won't send it just yet. Let me know when you're ready to continue.
Well, that's going to Paul. So I don't want to send that. Hold on a second. Copy. Send it to Pooh. Okay. Chris writes, that are boys. Did we need that qualifier in there? Hope her boss didn't see that. Jeez. Well, how the fuck would her boss see that, you stupid asshole? Kyler says it's even worse when Siri reads it. You mean better when Siri reads it? I love it. All right. Okay. Chris sent this along. This is fucked. Hey, Siri.
Uh-huh.
Read text from Pooh.
Here are some recent messages from Jeremy Poole. No. Jeremy Poole said, good morning, Eric. Hope the holiday weekend is treating you well.
Fucking A. Not Jeremy. Hey, Siri. Read text from Pooh.
Here are some recent messages from Pooh. Pooh sent a surprised emoji and a face with monocle emoji. Said, I'm pretty sure it is recycling day too. Like 11-ish, I think. In class. Everything okay? And no, I only have sex with my husband. But thanks for inquiring. Would you like to reply?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
Okay. ... All good. Period. Carry on with your day. Period. Anal.
Your reply to Pooh says, okay. All good. Carry on with your day. Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay. It's sent.
Dateline. Massachusetts. A Massachusetts man and key witness in his girlfriend's upcoming murder trial does not want to talk about his or her defecatory sexual habits. Defecatory. Root word, defecate. Even though he previously told cops all about it. This guy made it a point, in describing that he and his girlfriend would take shits on each other. Julia Enright, 24, is a dominatrix. She is accused of murdering her former classmate, 20-year-old Brandon Chickless, in June of 2018. One major part of the prosecution's case concerns a replaced carpet in the treehouse where the victim is believed to have been killed. During an initial police interview, the girl, Julia Enright's boyfriend, John Lynn, said, yeah, we recently had to change the carpet because they like to take wet shits on each other. When questioned by police, they said they defecated in it and on each other during sex. They go, oh, yeah, that's not blood. That's shit. Because there's a tree house on the property apparently, and they go up there and they would have sex. Now, if they just had sex in the tree house, whatever. But no, these two, Enright and Lynn, would go in there, and then the guy would be the canvas, and she'd take a big sloppy dump on him. And then they'd like roll around in it or some shit. Okay. According to investigators, a receipt from Home Depot for new carpet suggests that they replaced the carpet on June 26th, which is 3 days after Chickless was supposedly killed. They're like, oh, no, that wasn't blood in there. That was shit, man. Come on, don't you know? I mean, who doesn't take a shit on each other when you're having sex? You realize, I wonder what the percentages of Americans who'd like to get shit on. Percentage of Americans into, is it scatology? Is that what I would write? You guys like, yeah, don't act like you don't know. Coprophilia? Okay. Coprophilia, also called scatophilia or scat, is the paraphilia involving sexual arousal and pleasure from feces. A study of 164 men in Finland from 2 S&M clubs found that 18.2% of the 164 men in this study were down with this. 3% as a sadist, 6.1% as a masochist, and 9.1% as both. So it is a form of sadomasochism. So I don't know which is which is probably a good thing. I don't know if the sadist is the punisher or the punishee. But of 164 dudes, what is 18% of 164? How do you do that? 164 times 0.18? Oh, yeah, that's a large number. 29 over 29, let's just say 29 and a half men. Can't be a half a man. 29 men of the 164 are into poo-poo. In the study pool, 18% of heterosexuals and 17% of homosexuals had tried that. What? That is an alarmingly high number. That, to me, shows a real deviance and illness, in my opinion. If what makes you happy is used food, okay, either having it on your person or dispatching it onto another soul, that is a real twisted, perverse thing right there. That should be criminal. In a separate article analyzing 12 men who engaged in bestiality, an additional analysis of an 11-man subgroup revealed that 6 had engaged in coprophilic behavior compared with only 1 in the match control group consisting of 12 S&M-oriented males who did not engage in bestiality. It's all weird. American musician Chuck Berry recorded videos of himself going pee-pee and engaging in coprophilia with women. What? In one video, a woman goes poo-poo on him and says, now it's, and after he says, wait a minute, after he says, now it's time for my breakfast. That's true? He was also sued for videotaping dozens of women in the restroom of a restaurant he owned, which has been identified as being motivated by his coprophilia, which is a word I did not know of till today, fetish. Wow. You know, he never got canceled, Chuck Berry. I think he was quite respected all the way to the end. I think he was about 100 years old. It couldn't have been more than a year or two ago that Chuck died. The Cleveland Steamer is a colloquial, how do you say that? How do you say that word? colloquial term for a form of corporophilia where someone defecates on their partner's chest. The term received news attention through its use in a U.S. Congress staff hoax email and being addressed by the United States Federal Communications Commission. So stupid. Well, anyway, Julia and John were like, oh, yeah, that's not blood. She didn't kill anybody. It was a doo-doo Da Vinci on the carpet. We went to Home Depot. We got a new carpet, and then that is that. Chickless was last seen alive 3 days prior to the carpet purchase and reported missing the day after. Look, I need you to know right now, as we go through this story bit by bit, that this story gets a lot worse, okay? Just so you know. Josh writes, doo-doo Da Vinci. Yeah, not to be confused with a poo-poo Picasso, also part of the, no doubt, the playbook of these two. All right. Dude, Lind, has not been charged in connection with the case. Chickless was last seen alive June 23rd, 3 days before the carpet was purchased. His car was found on June 29th, parked in a supermarket in nearby New Hampshire. The corpse was discovered on July 10th, wrapped in trash bags and blankets. Oh, boy. Lynn, not charged. Prosecutors allege that the woman lured the dude, the dead guy, to the treehouse in order to satisfy what, in her own words, by way of a contested journal entry, was an insatiable curiosity to kill a person. This is a sick soul, this woman. The dude who was like, oh, yeah, man, she takes the shit on me. He all of a sudden, he's quiet now. He's not saying anything. He says, I don't want to be involved in this. I am pleading the fifth. No more discussion from me. I know I told the cops that we take shits on each other, and that was what was ground into the carpet. But no. I'm out. I'm pleading the fifth. He would only answer questions about his work and education if he is called as a witness. So, during the hearing, Worcester Assistant DA Terry McLaughlin read a lengthy list of questions he intended to ask Lynn during trial, and he just like, due to the, I don't want to incriminate myself, I'm pleading the fifth, blah, blah, blah. The woman... Enright's defense sought to suppress evidence of the accused's so-called deviant sexual proclivities. Now, this is where it really gets fucked up. So her lawyer is like, wait a minute here. I don't want it released to you all about what her sexual tendencies are. But, you know, so it's up in the air. Well, the prosecution would be like, well, we think that absolutely lends to our case because it shows how fucked up your client is. So they obviously don't want these sexual proclivities to get out there. Additional alternative sexual practices said to have been engaged in by the defendant include collecting used condoms and blood samples. Cutting and blood play. So I was reading in another part of the article that her and the guy who's now taking the fifth, they used to like cut themselves and like smear it on each other. And then that was like, the appetizer. And then all of a sudden, a couple used fish fillets come flying out of the guy's asshole. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's so hot. Oh, fucking A. Prosecutors also allege that Enright, the woman, collected animal organs, intentionally decayed dead animals to use their bones for art, and that she intentionally, this is where it's really fucked up, she intentionally got pregnant so that she could get an abortion as late as she could abortion. This is so awful. I even hate describing it to you. So that she can make an attempt to get the bones of the fetus. Her attempt was a bribe to the Planned Parenthood employee, where she's like, hey, I really want to get that dead baby from you so I could, make a fucking dream catcher or some shit. And they're like, what the fuck are you, what? They did not agree to that, and they sent her on her way, but she actually sought them out. Now, so the prosecution's like, well, yeah, this definitely is important to our case. And the defense is like, no, come on. It has nothing to do with our client here. The attorney for the crazy bitch says if the jurors hear this stuff, they're going to think right away she's a weirdo. She's capable of doing anything. Correct. Yes. The attorney, Louis M. Badeway, argued before the court, saying the inclusion of such evidence, including the journal entries, is immaterial and prejudicial. I think I said that right. Prosecutors in this case say the evidence speaks to the manner in which the victim's body was found and how he may have been killed. Evidentiary hearings are still continuing at the Worcester Superior Court. Judge Daniel M. Wren has yet to rule on the extent of what jurors will hear about Enright's alleged panoply of fetishes. Holy shit. I guess the takeaway here is if most of the audience are not single. If you happen to meet somebody who said, hey, look, I'm really into some weird shit. Would you please, it would really turn me on if your burrito in hot diarrhea form was on my face. Get out of there as fast as you can. Run away. Say no. The only place that shit belongs is in a toilet. It does not belong on your chest. My God. Whew. That's rough. I tell you what, if that defense lawyer is able to get her out of this jam, this is easily going to be the greatest bit of lawyering that will ever have happened. I'm laughing at Kyler's comment. I'm too stoned for this podcast. Oh, Kyler. All right. And Adam says, I thought Mexicans didn't smoke weed. Is that true? I don't know. I don't think he's Mexican. Isn't he Guatemalan? I thought he was Guatemalan because they're only like 3'6". Kate says, I think I may need to get stoned so I don't think about this sick news story. How many of you get stoned? Because there's only 16 of you. Show of hands. We're amongst friends. I wonder if half or more of you get stoned regularly. I know Adam does. Kate says no. Okay, not Rob, not Dean. Melissa, no. Nathan, I think that's a hand. Josh, no. Kenny hasn't. No, you don't count. Kevin, yes. So 2 of you. Adam is 3. Yeah, that surprises me. I thought there'd be more. I don't know why. No judgment from me. Chris, no. Last time for me was in college with Herdy. Tarantula farmer, once in a while, only at night before bed. I mentioned Herdy on the free podcast yesterday. He's a dentist. We got stoned. Diana wasn't at college. It was her a year away from college. So I was living with Herdy. And we smoked, and it was, oh my God. And then we know what we did. We were in the dorms, living in the dorms. This is like my second year in college. And maybe my third. And we decided we were hungry. And we went to the grocery store and we bought fish sticks of all things. And we put all of the fish sticks onto that little silver platter that you put in a toaster oven. And then we forgot they were there and left the dorm room. And then we come walking back to the dorm. Hours later, we went to go smoke more. And everybody is outside of the dormitory. They caught on fire. And the smoke that rolled through the room tripped off the fire alarms. So it smelled like shit for weeks. We got in big trouble for that. And oh boy, that was a highlight. Fucking hey, it's the last time. Never again. We walk in, we're like, what the fuck is going on here? There's a fire in the dorms. Oh my God. And then everybody's like chit-chatting about what, I don't know what it is. It smells like shit in there. It smells like something's burning. I don't know. Oh, fuck. It narrows down to our room. Our roommate is the RA, the resident assistant or whatever they're called. And he was so pissed. Holy shit. We almost got kicked out. Holy fuck. All right, folks. That's it. Oh, one more thing. I just found out about this. It is a Thursday Ben and Eric Patreon podcast at 4 p.m. again. I apologize for that, but that is the only time we can get it done. Tonight is out. I've got hockey. Thursday, Ben is doing the podcast with Brett, which Ben completely has his fucking priorities out of whack because I fucking pay Ben to do this show, that asshole. And I don't want to do the power play on him, but he's like, oh, well, no, I can't. I'm recording. I'm like, oh, dude, no offense, but how much money have you made from the Balls Out podcast? Oh, I believe that number is 0. But I didn't say that. I said, okay. Well, then I said, we'll have to punt. We can't do it. He said, well, maybe how about at 4? And I'm like, all right, we can do it at 4. So tomorrow on Patreon, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast is at 4 p.m. If you don't think you are on the invite list, email me and I will put you on the invite list. But I'm pretty sure you're all on the invite list. If not, please reach out to me. That is for the live stream. Okay? You're more than welcome to join us on the live stream. Okay? Good? We got a lot done today. Makes me happy. Till next time. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. That's it. The show is winding down. Before I wrap this up, though, some final notes. If you want to advertise on my show, send me an email. I'll tell you all about it. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. That's the Shoreliners striping inbox. I sell T-shirts at my website, ericzaneshow.com. T-shirts, mugs, hoodies, everything. Even pillows. No one's bought a pillow, right? Cameo.com/EricZane. That's where you go to get cameos. They're just $20. And, of course, my Patreon, patreon.com/EricZane. Sign up free for 7 days. That is my time. Have a good one. Fresh show coming up on Monday. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.